Hey everyone, it's been exactly a month since a Nether update beta was released where there was actual content and not just bug fixes. Today is April 16th, and well, we have our new Nether update beta 1.16.0.57, and we have many new Nether update features. I believe we are on par with the Java edition snapshots now, except for a few exceptions, but it's pretty much all there. And there is of course new changes. Some of them are bug fixes that are not very good and not appreciated at all, but it's mostly positive. But there are some things that I would also like to see, and yeah, so let's talk about it. So first the obvious, we have the crying obsidian and we have the respawn anchor, and well, those do work as expected. However, they work a little differently than in Java edition. I mean the respawn anchor. As you can see, the signal strength is dividing the 15 times 4, or well, 1/4, 2/4, 3/4, and well, full signal strength, instead of just having it at 4, 3, 2, 1. I believe that's how it works in Java edition, so that's interesting. Oh, and by the way, something interesting about the crying obsidian is that it emits light. I'm not sure if it's like that in Java edition, maybe it's another exclusive from Bedrock edition, because the blue ice also emits light in Bedrock edition, where it does not in Java edition. So that's interesting. We have full signal strength instead of signal strength 4, 3, 2, and 1. I believe that's how it works in Java. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, we have the lodestone, which is currently locked to experimental gameplay, but I have that of course. And we have the lodestone compass, and as you can see, it does seem to work. And yeah, it always points towards the lodestone, which is pretty good. And well, it's a very useful thing. And of course we have the twisting vine, which was surprisingly missing because, well, it was in the same update as the soul speed. And that snapshot, those features didn't make it to the last beta we had, which was 1.16.0.51. I mean, that's the last beta where we got content. And yeah, so here it is. We can indeed bone meal it. And yes, believe me, I tried to make a zero-tick farm out of it. The problem is you cannot make a zero-tick farm out of it when it doesn't break, because the whole idea of zero-tick farms is that you rely on the plant thinking that it's going to break. But as you can see, very good testing there, Mojang, it just completely floats. And surprisingly, this was not the case with the weeping vines in the other Nether update betas, but would you look at this, they do indeed float like the twisting vines do, which is slightly concerning, a little weird maybe. Yeah, I'm not sure what to say about this. So okay, that's cool. What we also have now is the warped and the crimson hyphae. I don't know if that's how you pronounce it. Hyphae, something like that. Okay. But we also have the new nether bricks, which are chiseled and cracked, and we have all the blackstone blocks. So the stairs, the slabs, we have the normal blackstone, polished blackstone, blackstone bricks, cracked blackstone bricks, we have the chiseled polished blackstone, and we have the blackstone button and the blackstone pressure plates as well. And they are indeed identical to stone buttons, just like in the Java edition. And we have the gilded blackstone, which is pretty interesting. We have the piglin banner pattern that you can indeed find in piglin bastion remnants. And we have the soul speed enchant. Now, I have that already on my netherite boots, but as you can see, it does work pretty well. And in case you were wondering, I already tried messing with it, like manipulating it to accelerate me to crazy speeds, but that does not seem to work at all. You can probably exploit it in some way. We haven't tried that much yet, because, well, the beta literally just released, but yeah, it does work pretty fine. We also now have the soul campfire, and we have the chain blocks, which of course are prominent in piglin bastion remnants. And surprisingly, these chains, they do look like panes, glass panes and iron bars in terms of their hitbox. And unlike the iron bars, etc., you can place torches on top of them and stuff, which is pretty interesting because with the iron bars you could not do that. And that is pretty cool for building. Where, okay, there they are. As you can see, you are completely unable to place any torches on there. And for the chains, it works fine. So that's something very cool and stylistic that you could do. And yeah, of course, they are there for the lanterns. Next up, let's talk a little about the new sound in the 1.16.0.57 update. So, of course, we have the new music disc from Lena Rain, which is pixed up, and it does sound quite nice. It doesn't sound like Minecraft music discs at all, but you know what, it's pretty cool, and you can find those in Piglin Bastion Remnants. And they finally gave some sounds to all of the new mobs from the Nether update. So the Hoglins and the Piglins did not have any sound in the previous Nether update betas, which was really weird. They also added the Striders and the Zoglins, and those work as you might expect. And as you can see, riding a Strider works just as well as it does in Java Edition. And you can of course also boost by right-clicking on the warp fungus on a stick. And well, I tried exploiting this as well in the same way as in Java Edition, but it's pretty obvious that you will not be able to exploit this in the exact same way as Java Edition. Maybe we can still exploit it some other way, but not by just having a line of solid blocks like in Java Edition. But yeah, those are actually pretty cool. I do like them. I thought they were pretty ugly at first, because, I don't know, look at them. Okay, maybe I'm being a little harsh, but they are definitely useful, as you can see. And of course they do turn blue when they're out of the lava. And something interesting about piglins is that now they properly barter, so they will inspect the gold and then they will throw back an item at you, or multiple items, and it looks like they finally adjusted the loot table. So I seem to be getting leather and gravel commonly, but I also managed to get crying obsidian among some other stuff, whereas previously it was only locked to obsidian, flint and steel, and nether wart blocks, which was kind of concerning, but at least they got it sorted out. Yeah, I got some obsidian. I tried scamming them, like in Java Edition, so basically tried all the tricks that were used early on in the Java Edition snapshots, but let's just say none of them really worked, which is to be expected. But yeah, at least we have the intended features in place now for the most part. Hoglins in the overworld of course shake and transform into Zoglins over time. I have not been able to find a Zoglin spawn egg in the creative menu, and you can also not pick block them to get a spawn egg. But yeah, and another cool change is that zombified piglins don't burn anymore, and it appears that it is very aggressive towards the zombified piglins for some reason. But yeah, those do not burn in daylight anymore, which was kind of stupid in the first place and didn't make any sense, but yeah, they are back to normal. Oh, and just in case you're wondering, portal ticking and my gold farms still work in the 1.16 update, and that's pretty great. I don't see that being changed anytime soon, but just keeping you guys updated, because you always panic when something gets changed, so might as well clear up the confusion. Also, something I noticed is that the process of going from overworld to nether is blazing fast now. As you can see, nether to overworld takes a little more time, but overworld to nether is just plain instant. Like, wow, that's pretty fast. Anyways, let's take a little more look in natural environments. As you can see, we have the massively awesome Basalt Delta biome, and the particles are just awesome. And well, if we take a look somewhere around here, I believe I saw one of those portal structures. There it is. As you can see, we have one of those portal structures right here. So they include crying obsidian. I suppose that's how you obtain crying obsidian for the respawn anchor. And those don't seem to be that common, but they are pretty cool. And from what I've seen, they should also generate in the overworld, although I haven't looked in the overworld yet. But they also include little loot chests. Something also really cool is the new Piglin Bastion Remnants. I believe that's what they're called, and you gotta admit, they look pretty awesome. Now, I haven't tested yet if those are actual structures with structure spawn capabilities, because it is said that these piglins spawn in those bastion remnants, but I'm not sure if they have hard-coded spawning areas and hard-coded spawning spots, so that's something that will have to be tested. To be honest, I'm not really a mob farm guy, so I might just leave that one to others, but I might as well try. But anyways, in here there are various loot chests hidden all over the place, and some of them do actually have netherite tools and gear, I think. I haven't been able to find gear yet, but I have seen tools. For example, here we have a netherite pickaxe, and well, that's pretty crazy to just find netherite tools in those structures. I feel like that maybe removes a little value from finding netherite or digging it up, but I guess it's okay. But yeah, there are quite a bit of those. You can also find the banner parents for the piglins, like I said before. Also, another thing that is supposed to be in those piglin bastion remnants are magma cube spawners, but I have not found a single one yet. Maybe one was supposed to generate there, I'm not really quite sure, but I have not seen anyone yet, and I've been through quite a lot of piglin bastions. This, by the way, is my favorite. It looks really cool. We have this little room right there and the lava at the bottom. And of course we have some... oh, there's actually gear. Okay. Well, I guess there is some gear to be found, and we have some ancient debris in there as well, so that's pretty good. And we have the pick step disc in here. So a large amount of changes that have occurred in this beta as well is something that I've been wanting to talk about, because it has been so massively outdated for so long, which is the sound in Minecraft Bedrock Edition. The sound has always been so boring and old, and well, now we have some new updates to that. So for example, we now have the new Nether update music. Right now it's just Dead Voxel or something. No, that's not Dead Voxel, but it's one of the old Nether update music. But there definitely is the new Nether update soundtrack from Lena Rain, which is pretty amazing, by the way. And we also have ambient sounds and all that stuff. And along with this, there was the cave sounds, the famous cave sounds that have been Java Edition forever, but never Bedrock Edition. Those have been added to Bedrock Edition. And what has been added to Bedrock Edition as well is the underwater music, which is the music from C418. And it's pretty good to see that that has been finally added, because it's a pretty amazing soundtrack. And it has always been kind of disappointing that the ambience in Bedrock Edition has been very lacking. The audio menu, however, is still the same. We only have the master volume slider and we have the music slider right here. And speaking of the sound, yes, they did update a lot of the sounds. So for example, if you walk on top of the warped or crimson nalium, you do hear the new sound, and there also is the new sounds for the netherrack. So yeah, it does sound different than just the boring old stone sound, and many of those block sounds have been changed, and some don't make much sense. They're not parity changes, and they weren't like that either ever. So for example, we have pistons, and they have the iron block placement sound, as well as glass, and overall all sounds seem to be higher pitched, which is sort of interesting, and I don't think that's the way it's supposed to be, but we'll see. At least they are doing some changes to the sound engine, because that was really bothering me for a while, that they didn't pay any attention to that at all, and it's good seeing that being updated. Having covered all of the new changes and the good changes, I think it's time that we also cover the bad changes and, well, the lack of changes, because some things are definitely missing and they need to be added in the next Nether update betas, and some useful things got patched, which is kind of unfortunate. So, first of all, our favorite bedrock breaking method got broken. So, as you can see, the snow layer method got patched. So what would happen previously is that those would combine and remove that bedrock block. But as you can see, now they just merge, now they just end up being 8 snow layers, and the extra one gets completely removed. Because that method of removing Bedrock was really practical, and it was clean, you knew what you had to do, it worked every time, and well, I suppose it's kind of a bummer that it's gone, but we also have other methods to break Bedrock. No Mojang, if you're watching this, I won't tell you what they are. That also means that if you would like to still have some Bedrock in the 1.16 version of the game, I suggest doing so now in the 1.14 version of the game. You can just obtain a few Bedrock and then duplicate the rest. It's a glitch item, you're not supposed to obtain it anyway, so in my opinion duplicating it isn't really a crime against humanity. It most definitely still is possible to obtain Bedrock in the 1.16 version of the game, which is the Nether update of course, but it is a whole lot less convenient to do so, so it recommends doing it in the 1.14 update, while you still can. Of course, like I said, you still can the 1.16 update, but it is not recommended. Okay, the next thing that I'm really disappointed about, because that was the thing I was most excited for, is Basalt generation. So, in Java Edition, when a lava source or flowing lava gets sandwiched in between blue ice and soil, then Basalt would generate. So, there would be Basalt right here. But as you can see, absolutely nothing in Bedrock Edition. And I was actually really excited for that, because there's so many cool things you can make. You can make bridge makers, you can make wall makers, tunnel makers, whatever. So many things. You can also just farm it in massive quantities, which is a pretty fun thing to do. But nope, so that's not there yet, and we definitely need to see that in the future. So the next thing that I'm quite disappointed that hasn't been changed is the mob despawning, because the 54 block radius is absolutely tiny. As you can see, that bigger magma cube over there just despawned, and while mob despawning is highly appreciated, with the 54 block radius it breaks a lot of mob farms. With the despawn radius being as tiny as 54 blocks for the instant despawn radius, and then there's also the 1 in 800 chance despawn, which also happens at a even smaller radius. Well, that is not good at all, because, well, that breaks a lot of mob farms, and yeah. There's a few other cool things that I've noticed, notably that the smooth rotation works again, and that was also listed in the changelog. The full keyboard gameplay smooth rotation works again, and that is pretty great, because that is great for cinematic shots, although I tend to use a controller nowadays because you can, well, accelerate or slow down the joystick, but that is also pretty good, because, yeah, I don't know, it's very useful to have it be smooth and not super jittery. What also seems to have been activated is the emote menu. So on PC you press B to access it, and we have the emote menu. I believe the assets have been in the game for a while now already, but it is interesting to see that the menu is now in action. And if you go to the slots, you cannot really find any emotes that work. But what is also interesting to see is that the skins now have some animations for equipping things, but they seem to be a little glitchy, which is kind of funny. Not sure what's up with that, but what, yeah, as you can see, it is stuck right there, which is kind of weird. I guess it's trying to look back a little, but yeah, also with other things, as you can see, if we go there, they do have some little animations, which, you know, I don't use the marketplace stuff at all, so I guess that's kind of cool, but that doesn't really concern me. It's pretty much the same thing with the emote menu. Not like I'm really gonna use these emotes ever, or maybe I am, but they are kind of that sort of thing that I think belongs in other games and not in Minecraft. And lastly, there is a new server menu, and I can see that they put a lot of time into it by the fact that it is completely broken. And no, this is not because I'm loading any packs. Right now I don't have any packs that affect the server menu at all, but yeah, it is broken and it looks very weird. So that's pretty much all the changes I have for this 1.16 beta. There's probably some things that I missed, so if you find any, let me know down in the comments. Make sure to subscribe because I spend a lot of time with these videos and there's much more interesting stuff on my channel. And with that being said, bye!